When you're ready.
Are stem cell therapies effective? Our claim is stem cell therapies are effective, although they should be administered to the public in our current time due to FDA regulations and unanticipated health complications.
Okay. While not ready for use among the general public, steps can be taken in this direction. Our solution includes performing additional clinical trials while also establishing FDA regulations. As shown in the graphic, treatments get more refined and closer to FDA approval after going through various phases of clinical trials. This process would be ideal in order for stem cell therapies to be not only safe, but effective for people responding to such treatments.
While investigating our collective claim, we each chose a unique lens that is formulating our individual analysis. I'm arguing our claim through a futuristic lens. Daisy argues hers through an ethical lens, and Sarah argues her claim through a scientific lens. We will now individually lay out our evidence and line of reasoning. Within this section, we will be evaluating the pros and cons of each unique solution.
But for ethical analysis, as we said before, we claim that stem cell therapies are effective, but now we ask, are they ethical? There's a few concerns within, and one of them has to do with the promotion of stem cell therapies. Many advertising companies promote unapproved or unsafe therapies, which is extremely dangerous and unethical. Another issue on the ethical side is the types of therapies that are being administered, and one of them has to do with the embryonic stem cell therapies. Many people argue that this is unethical because of the use and destruction of living human stem cells, and there's other alternatives that we can use that make it more ethical and can also prove that stem cell therapies are effective. Lastly, the performance of unapproved therapies is an issue. Some clinics offer therapies to patients that haven't been proven safe or effective.
Futuristic analysis. In our current time, the Food and Drug Administration has approved over 25 different stem cell therapies. Or sorry, not over, has approved 25 different stem cell therapies, all of which involve treatments of blood or immune system cancers or disorders. They use hematopoietic immature stem cells, which can differentiate into all types of blood cells, being red blood cells, white blood cells, or platelets. And these types of treatments are easier to get implemented because of the smaller differentiation, and that decreases the possibility of error within your stem cell treatment. So you only have 3 avenues of ways that a stem cell can divide into. So then that leaves us with the question, what needs to be done in order to conquer the challenges of complex differentiation among stem cell therapies? So we need to fully understand the mechanisms that take place within stem cells. How do we go about doing this? We need to be able to methodically observe the processes of stem cells at a microscopic level. In order to do this, we need to have access to tools and instruments that are advanced enough to do such things without destroying the fragile cells in the process. So we need tools. And then, in order to obtain these tools, we need biomedical engineers to help develop these technologies that researchers and scientists can put into use.
effective clinical trials can bring great success in advancing therapies. So I will be discussing 2 trials in particular. The first trial used stem cells to heal uniformly sized wounds in rats. This study tested 2 applications of the therapy, an injection versus the use of polymer hydrogel. While both were effective, the polymer hydrogel yielded better results in healing wounds. And in the picture shown, it uses mesenchymal stem cells. For the second trial, the stem cells were injected into the spinal canal of a 53-year-old male sustaining a spinal cord injury. The site of injury was the C3 and C4 region shown in the graphic in Figure 1. And researchers were able to prove that a sensory and motor function improved using an internationally accepted method of scoring shown in Figure 2. So what are the pros and cons? So there are some pros and cons, and that is first that trial 1 tested not only applying polymer hydrogel externally to the wound, but injections as well, forming more trials similar to these ones to help researchers compare the practicality of various methods. And additionally, both trials were carried out in a controlled environment by experts in the field and avoided subjectivity in the results. However, there are some cons, and a downside with the second trial is they only experimented on one person, which for future trials should not always be the case. Since they could not test different types of stem cells or various methods of treatment, there's no telling whether the method they used is most optimal. And in medicine, it is crucial that people are receiving treatment not only because it works, but because it is optimized as well.
So from the ethical perspective of limitations, there are many concerns. One being that embryonic stem cell research is the staple of stem cell therapies right now. This relates to ethical concerns because it requires the use and destruction of living human cells. Unapproved therapy promotions are another factor in ethical concerns. Many companies have been promoting stem cell therapies that have not been approved or overlooked by the FDA or professionals, and that's very dangerous. So this is where the FDA comes into play. Many would argue that the FDA needs to do a better job at keeping up with the clinical research and therapies behind stem cells, which would end up making them much safer and more ethical.
So, from a futuristic perspective, the limitations involving stem cell therapies would be consistent effectiveness. So you need to prove to the FDA that you can have the stem cell therapy consistently work and prove that you're reducing your chance of failure to near zero in order for it to be implemented into general public. And then another limitation I say is public opinion. This relates to the ethical lens almost, but you need society as a whole to be almost kind of accepting for it to actually like grow and like make a business of itself and everything within society. We need people to be behind it in order for stem cells to be implemented everywhere. And then for my last slide, bioengineering technology. You simply need instruments that are more advanced and more technologically advanced in order to do research and to do the actual science behind the stem cell therapies without destroying the fragile components and such.
Okay, in the trials I discussed earlier, there was no medical complications, but that's not to say they don't happen. Some limiting factors are tumors, infection, and immune rejection that can occur. Since stem cells survive longer than normal cells in the body, there's a risk of accumulation, which can cause these health concerns. While complications can sometimes lead to a better understanding of stem cell therapy, they can also leave researchers searching for answers or cause potentially life-threatening symptoms in a person receiving the treatment.
right, some questions. Daisy, describe how the content of your presentation was changed as a result of group discussion.
I would say like I didn't really know how to like relate like a lot of time like ethical stuff to like the science. I didn't really look at Sarah's like essay in depth as like I should have, and then once I like read it, I learned more about like the scientific like what she like presented about like the clinical trials, and I tried like relating like the ethicalness of like that along with the like information that I already wrote in the textbook. So I thought that like the ethical part was like kind of hard for me to do until I learned more about like the actual science behind it.
Okay, cool. Hey, all right, Sarah, reflecting on your colleagues' work, which one had the greatest impact on your overall understanding of the problem that your group identified?
Okay, Daisy's ethical lens was the greatest help in defining a solution because I knew that additional clinical trials would be necessary, but if not for her perspective, I wouldn't have known from my scientific research that FDA regulations should be implemented as well for it to be safe in the general public.
Okay, thank you. And Owen, what is a way in which your team's resolution, your answer to the question, makes you think differently about your own individual research?
Well, I think in our resolution, we highlighted, the importance of ethical reasons of why or why not to continue with stem cell therapies, as well as from the scientific lens, like what experiments are being conducted with stem cell therapies. It made me question. Like there's so many different possibilities for the future of stem cell therapies. Which one is the most likely, or which one should I discuss within this presentation?
Okay, thank you. Another round of applause.